Hello everybody, it's number 34 of my live stream tours of Paris. I'm in Montmartre today, 18th arrondissement. This is a special time to be in Montmartre. We're talking about the wine festival. This is not the wine festival, however. You're going to see that the festival itself is quite packed compared to this, but I'm starting here on the back side of Sacré-Cœur, which is behind us at the moment. And this is a hidden little pétanque arena. You know, they play this famous game that migrated up from the south of France called pétanque. It's also known as boule, which means the balls, les boules. And I heard this little hidden spot referred to recently as a boulodrome. So that's pretty cool. Let's go down to the boulodrome and throw some pétanque balls. So you can see on the left there, we got kind of a nice sort of eavesdropping, spying sort of perspective. And so they're hanging out there down by that little eatery, and then there's a mom and a son throwing around some pétanque balls there. And so that's what we're going to start with today. Hello everybody, already 86 of you, my goodness. Thanks for joining me, I appreciate it. Number 34, we're in the 18th arrondissement, we're in Montmartre. And we're gonna have some fun today and walk through the wine festival. Let me show you all the views, as I like to do here. Of course, we're in the land right now of staircases. And there's a beautiful system of parks, actually. We'll consider this the calm before the storm, because the festival itself is very packed and very animated today. But here, this series of parks behind Sacré-Cœur tend to be a lot more local, and the colors are real nice this time of year. Hi Ruta, hi David Dubois. And then if I turn around, there's this. So get ready for some great perspectives like that today. Hi Pamela Widmer, Heather Liebart's here. Fantastic. So if you're just joining me, you know where we are. That visual says it all. 18th arrondissement, Montmartre Wine Festival. It only happens once a year. The second weekend of October, the wine festival. So we are in a park. Actually, let me back up just a minute because I don't particularly know the name of this park by heart. So for those who would like to remember, it's a bit of a mouthful. Marcel Bleustein Blanchet, something like that. Bleustein. Hi Cindy, hi Valerie. Bon dimanche to you as well. So let me show you this park here. It has several tiers, this park. Real quick look at the playground for the kids. Right there. Let me show you that brick building at 12 o'clock right there. That Salvador Dali, famous surrealist artist, resided there in that brick building. So on top of all of the amazing art history we've got in Montmartre, you can add Salvador Dali to the list, living right there in that brick building. And then we can only imagine that when he was here, he enjoyed this park and enjoyed accessing the Basilica of Sacré-Cœur from it. Look at those colors. Woo! Here we go. Oh, I'm dodging soccer balls as I go here because there's a lot of family activity on this Sunday. The address for that Dali house, if you're interested and you want to check it out, even though there's no plaque or anything at the door, I checked. But the address is 7 Rue Becquerel. Okay, so I'm about, hold on to your hats, your chapeau, because I'm about to show you probably the best bench seat in Paris. Let me get down where these ladies are, let me show you that. Look at that bench location. Wow. So keep this park in mind for sure. So few people actually make it to the back of this beautiful church. Jennifer Warren says, wowzers. You're right, Jennifer. That's the exact proper reaction. We can see the bell tower up there. While we're looking at the bell tower, I mean, I could tell you all sorts of things about Sacré-Cœur, but we're really here for the wine, and I promise you we will drink some wine. But the bell tower there, Sacré-Cœur was started in 1875 and built on a very grand scale. It was meant originally to welcome huge amounts of pilgrims from around the world, and it does every single day. And so everything on a grand scale inside of the church, the altar piece or the altar itself has the largest mosaic in France. And then also that bell up there is the largest France ever made, 19 tons. Let me try to expose a little bit better for you. 19 tons, that bell. Can you imagine? They say when it rings out at full throttle, you can hear it for 6 miles. And when they stop ringing the bell, it takes 10 minutes for the bell to officially stop ringing. So what's going on here? So big bell basically is what I'm saying. So there's a park and you can picnic, you can sunbathe, and then, let me just give you just trying to cover it from all angles here. Ooh. A little bit of sunlight peeking through, some fall foliage and whatnot. Wow, so on the other side of that beautiful white hunk of stone is the wine festival, so that's why we're here. Why don't we make our way toward it? Heather Jackson, Cindy White, all these familiar names, so great to see. And then look at this, rather unexpected as well. There's a little, what would you call that, a little tunnel, a little veranda of sorts. How lovely is that? Let me back up just a couple steps. Give you some context. Okay, look at that. What a wonderful, wonderful way to approach Sacré-Cœur. And here we go. Hey, Marianne Benedetti, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you made it. I've been working with Marianne to help her find these videos and to join us live, so she made it. Look at those colors. Welcome, Marianne. We're in Montmartre for the wine festival. Oh, my goodness, so it doesn't get any better than that, right? It really doesn't. This is such a special time to be in Montmartre. I've been coming to the wine festival now for the last 3 or 4 years. Oh, the stone, the stone, the stone. I just want to give you enough time for, especially for those who don't get to make it here that often. So if I show you this here, this is an inn run by nuns, and they've been running it since the 1880s, and 170 rooms they have, these nuns, and they have been doing something very particular. They allow you to come from all around and you rent a room inside of this inn. One of the 170, sometimes entire families come and they spend the night there. And then at night, when the Basilica of Sacré-Cœur closes, you use this tunnel, this private access, and you get inside of the church. When they've turned off all the lights and the only thing illuminated inside is the altar, the Holy Sacrament, and all of the prayer candles. And you get a time slot and you go in there at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., and it's dead quiet. And people make pilgrimages to Montmartre and to Sacré-Cœur just for that reason. So that's been going on since the 1880s with almost no interruption. So a big shout out to the nuns who have been keeping that great tradition going. All right, here we are. Let's make it to the festival itself. Cheryl says she's okay with being in front of this church, but she much prefers the back, and I think I agree. So these are all the delivery vans for the festival that usually aren't here. There's a church back here and another religious order connected to Sacré-Cœur, so some beautiful architecture there, and fits in with the whole country village vibe that we expect to see in Montmartre. Beautiful old door, cut off the head of the Virgin Mary, how dare I? Great color today, beautiful blue sky. If you haven't heard yet, the weather in Paris has been ridiculously good. Unprecedented weather. I think today in Fahrenheit, it hit 77, 78. Okay, we're approaching the festival here. Some sweet smelling smoke. And we're going to make our way through the crowds here. Because there are some crowds for sure. These gentlemen are going to check my bag, so... Bonjour. Merci. Let's start with this right here. Oop. Okay, so get ready for a lot of this. On our way to buy our wine, we're gonna see a lot of this yummy stuff. I'm trying to actually zip my bag with one hand, so forgive me. Smells real nice. Oh, doggy. Here we go. What I hope to do is give you the best perspective I can of the food that's going on here. So that's called tartiflette. If you've never had tartiflette, make a note for that, because it's potatoes, it's melted cheese, it's bacon bits that they call lardons, which is almost even better than bacon, and crème fraîche, and you eat it with bread and a bit of salad and you're good to go. There's some chili right there. Hello. Chili. Waffles. Yeah, I can tell you it really smells fantastic here. Okay, and there's a lot of wine. You'll see people drinking not just the wine of Montmartre, but it's a proper wine festival. All sorts of different companies and wine creators, wine vendors will come here. So you can get champagne and wine all over the place. Lest we forget, there's a beautiful basilica called Sacré-Cœur. Let me not go too fast, and let's just take a moment here to check out what's going on up there. This is the classic travertine stone that famously gets white when it gets wet. So every time it rains on Sacré-Cœur, it whitens itself. It's a self-cleaning monument. And there's that bell tower. As you can see, the sun is doing some pretty wonderful things to the basilica at the moment. And then right at the base, come down here. It's, macaron, artisanal macaron. Heather Liebhart says, thanks for braving the hordes of people. I'm dealing with my agoraphobia, so you all don't have to. Here we've got nougat. You know, nougat is a very classic thing to see in these festivals. Sometimes it's very hard, sometimes it's very soft. You usually need to mention which one you would like. Bonjour. Someone asked me where the travertine stone came from, Sacré-Cœur. It's an area called Château Landon. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 60 miles south of Paris. That's St. Louis, Louis IX. Beautiful copper statue, bronze statue guarding the, guarding the festival today, but normally guarding Sacré-Cœur. And then you can see what the name of this festival is called, the Fête des Vendanges. Vendange being the harvest, typically wine harvest. So there we go, that's a visual for you right there. I can smell. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est des champignons. This is mushrooms, potatoes, onions. Bonjour. Pardon. Oh. I gotta navigate the crowd and remember my camera work here. To the right of us, this is a reservoir that was built in the late 1800s, the same time Sacré-Cœur was being constructed. Same kind of stone, so people assume it's part of the church actually, but it's not in fact a religious monument. This is a reservoir that was meant to keep bringing water to the folks, gravity feeding water to Montmartre, especially if there were fires and things like that. Whoops, sorry. Sorry, folks. You can see it's packed. Let's turn around and I'll show you the view here. Woo. Can you beat that? Can you beat it?
Can you see up? He's in the way. Oh, beautiful. Looks like
All right, let's see what we can do. I'm bumping into people. My camera's going crazy. Here we go. Pardon, excusez-moi. All right, let me do my best to show you what's going on here. We've got oysters, if you can make that out. There's champagne, there's rosé, there's even some absinthe that I'll show you in a minute. If I'm not responding to your comments, I apologize. It's just a little bit too much to juggle at the moment. But we're not in a hurry either, so it's all good. This is the last day of the festival. It started Wednesday, Thursday, and yesterday was the big parade. And I should say a few things about this festival here before we get to the wine that we can actually taste, because one of the main reasons this festival is in celebration of the wine of Montmartre. There is a working vineyard, a tiny little vineyard, which is actually quite a gem and very unique in Paris to have a working vineyard. And the only time really that you can get a hold of the wine is during this celebration of it. So that's what all these folks are here for, although they're enjoying all kinds of things. That says hot cheese, warm cheese. Let's get a close-up of that. Those are the lardons, the classic pork bits, bacon bits in a way. Kind of like pancetta, I guess. And then you've got all these different kinds of cheeses that are essentially just melted with lots of lovely little bits and pieces inside. And I got some beer on tap. So yeah, there's a working vineyard that started in the 1930s, and in fact 1934 was the first celebration here of the vintage from the small Montmartre vineyard. At that time in 1934, it was the year after they planted the vines. So very young wine, in fact that's how they do it. You're always drinking the vintage from the year before. So it's not an aged wine. And in fact, in 1934, they had so little wine produced by that little vineyard, they had to import barrels of Beaujolais from another part of France just to keep everybody satiated, quench everyone's thirst. Nowadays, they do bring in wine, but the Montmartre vineyard creates about 700 bottles. 700 though isn't a lot because there's a lot of demand. And so this is really the only time where you can properly get a taste of it. Let me show you what's going on here. They're doing these sort of tartines, I guess they would call them, with bits of cheese. There we go.
delicious. Bravo to the chef. The mixture of the chèvre goat cheese with the reduced balsamic and the serrano ham is amazing.
Ah, you're talking about this one here.
That is a delight. And then you have the foie gras. Salmon.
Okay, that's the serrano, that's the foie gras.
And you have salmon with lump eggs.
Ah, yes.
This man
Chorizo. Beautiful.
Client enjoying every moment.
Fantastic. Well, enjoy the festival. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
I got a happy customer there. So since 1934, they've been celebrating this wine, always the second weekend of October. That's all of Paris in that direction. Hopefully we'll catch a view in a minute. But this right here is where you can get the Montmartre wine. So we are going to wait in line. It's a very popular product, obviously, this weekend. They have two versions of Montmartre wine. I think it used to just be a rosé, but don't quote me on that. Nowadays they have wines, reds and rosés. So I had a red the other day with one of the Frites Monet crayons. And Monique and I had a lovely moment here, and I got the red on Friday with her, so I think today I'll try the rosé. It's a nice warm day. I think it's the perfect time for it. Over there, can you make that out on the left? They actually have Montmartre absinthe. Do you see, those of you who are into absinthe, or you shared an absinthe with me during our Frite meets, can you make that out? They've actually got the paraphernalia and everything, and you can buy either a large or a small bottle of Montmartre absinthe, so that'd be pretty fun to try. I might have to fight a little bit in line to get this Montmartre wine. You can see the bottles just right there on the lower left.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous avons de la bière fraîche, du vin Montmartre, de l'absinthe, des huîtres.
Let me show you a view while I'm waiting here, patiently. And then I'll give you my verdict on this wine, this vintage, 2017. Clara's asking if you can buy the wine. Yes, Clara, you can buy the wine, but mostly just during this festival. Also in the Museum of Montmartre, in their gift shop, occasionally it'll be for sale. It's not cheap. It's 45, 50, 55 euros a bottle, depending on the year. And it's not that good. I mean, I gotta tell you, a lot of people agree, even the people who are selling it here. It's a novelty, it's charming, and we love it, but it's not considered the best wine by any means. In fact, the New York Times once called it the most expensive bad wine in Paris. But when you're here, you're in the throes of the festival, you got the view of Paris and the sunlight and the fall foliage, you just don't care. Let me show you again the activity here at the booth. Hopefully we're going to get to some of that wine in a minute. There we go. I knew it would take a while, but I didn't expect this. So you get to vicariously wait in line with me. Let me try to get closer to the wine here. There we go. Cute bottles. It's not even a full bottle, by the way. You can buy the glass if you want. They have special glasses, extra 5 euros. And the price of the wine itself for a glass, we're going to find out in a minute. I don't actually know exactly what the price is. Now, thanks everybody for waiting. I don't know if this is captivating internet television or not, but we're here. We're doing it. Bonjour. Un verre de rosé, si possible. Vous avez le rosé?
Oui, rosé en dégustation.
Oui, s'il vous plaît.
C'est-à-dire que c'est dans ce verre.
Ça marche.
Et la dégustation, c'est la hauteur dégustation.
Ça marche.
Et c'est 10 euros pour le verre.
Okay. So 10 euros, she said. Sorry. I'm getting that rosé right there. 10 euros, those are the glasses. You got to spend 5 extra euros if you want to take the glass home. I don't think we will today. Hopefully you can hear that accordion in the background. Here we go.
Mesdames et messieurs, j'ai de la bière fraîche.
That's a thing of beauty right there.
Du vin Montmartre. Des
Merci
huîtres.
beaucoup.
De l'absinthe.
10 euros. Voilà. Je vous remercie. Bonne journée.
Le pote, c'est parti. Viens.
Pardon. That guy's excited. All right, here we go. Let's taste this. Let's taste this sweet brew. That's Montmartre. That's Paris in front of us, by the way. Hopefully you can make out Mr. Eiffel's tower. Right there. All right, where are we going to try this wine? You can see the festival continues down that way. So it's pretty substantial. It continues up the hill a little bit as well. There we go. Let's try to find a spot. Oh, I almost tripped and I almost dumped my wine. All right, let's do the rather cheesy cliche shot, but why not? We're here. We're part of it. So you can see this this glass that you can buy for €5. Montmartre en village. And the Eiffel Tower is over there. And the festival. All right, here we go. Let's see what I can do here. Flip open the tripod. And that's me. Hi, everyone. If you're new to this whole idea of me doing video tours of Paris, I'm a full-time tour guide. French Frye in Paris is my brand. My name's Frye. And I do this every weekend, most weekends at least. And let me get myself framed there, and then here we go with the wine. And let's taste it. I haven't had the rosé yet. I already have the red. Let's see how this goes. It's pretty fruity. I gotta say, this is maybe the best vintage that I've had so far. Now the wines of Montmartre, as I said, New York Times called it the most expensive bad wine in Paris. Everyone agrees that it's not going to knock your socks off. It's wildly overpriced. But the price, by the way, everything you pay for, my whole €10 is going not in their pocket. It's actually going to the children and the elderly of the 18th arrondissement where we are right now. So it's really a nice concept. It's a nice idea, and it's a novelty. I mean, it's not bad, honestly. This rosé, I don't think you'd throw it down the sink. I'm no expert, but it's very fruity. It's got a nice tang. It's got a bit of a lasting impression on the palate. I'm trying to think of some erudite wine tasting type things to say. Or I could just say forget it and just admire the view and drink some wine from Montmartre. This is good. They actually told me on Friday that the next year's vintage, which they brought a wine expert in, and they had him taste the wine that they just made this year that will be served next year. Apparently that's very good. Okay, back to the festival. We're going to make our way up the hill. Yeah, again, back to the wine. I've had the same impression every year that I've come here. It's always kind of watery, so there's that. I mean, it tastes a little watered down in a way. It doesn't have that strong punch. But it is very fruity this year, the rosé, I gotta say.
J'ai eu un problème.
Let's admire some more food on the way up. Over here. Ah, so many people. So many people.
J'aime bien cette espèce de...
Ah, here we go. I think you'll enjoy this. Here we go. Let me see here. Wine, cheese. Cheese, 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 as you'd expect. Ham, ham, ham.
Mais j'ai pas plus petit.
Avec ça. Vous pouvez couper?
Le couper, ouais, entièrement.
Oui, à la limite, j'en ai
I'm glad I can share this with all of you. So honestly, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. I got a glass of Montmartre wine in my hand. This is the wine that came out of the same soil, as it were, that the Impressionists would have walked on back in the day, and Picasso and Van Gogh and Salvador Dali, who lived at our starting point of the walk today. And it's just the wine of the cabarets. It's the wine of the moulins, the windmills. It's just, it's pretty meaningful, and I love coming here for that reason. We've got fromage flavored saucisson. These are the dried cured sausages known as saucisson. Cute little pig there with a pumpkin. Pig with a pumpkin. That says blue goat cheese. My goodness. Taureau, that's bull. Cep is mushrooms. Got another hog there, another pig. Olives. Canard, so duck flavored saucisson. And then, ooh, the sun's nice over there. Look at that, looking down over the city. Let me try to, hold on. I'm gonna try to reset my, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so to wrap things up, you know me, usually these walks, because I'm a full-time tour guide, pardon, excusez-moi. Because I'm a full-time tour guide, I usually in these walks include bits of history and hidden details. And so I would like to do that with you over here in this old church. Because Sacré-Cœur is not the only church available in this area. Oh la la, it's getting real crowded.
Alors les lieux, comment c'est? Génial.
Over there's Place du Tertre, where the artists paint. And we're going to finish with this church here. This is St. Peter's of Montmartre. It's not too flashy. It gets overshadowed literally and figuratively by Sacré-Cœur. But it's actually, some could argue, it's the oldest church in Paris. Started 1133, predates Notre Dame, predates most of the other churches that we have. Now, it technically wasn't in Paris when it was built. Comment? Ah, le vin? D'accord. I can't bring the wine in the church, which, ouais, c'est logique, that makes sense. I actually am realizing I took this glass by mistake. I was supposed to give it back to them. Je reviens tout de suite pour le verre? Merci, c'est gentil. Okay, where was I? 1133 they built this. This church here, St. Peter's, was part of the old medieval abbey that once dominated Montmartre before the French Revolution wiped out that whole complex of the Royal Abbey and the Benedictine nuns. It's still a functioning Catholic church. It's known for these doors, which aren't particularly old. They were installed in the 1980s, but beautiful bronze depictions of the Bible. And what I want to show you in here is on this spot there were temples built by the Romans when the Romans invaded 52 BC. High up top of the hill here they started to build temples. It's believed that maybe the temple was to Mars or Mercury. And then when they started building the medieval version of the church in the 1130s, they had a few Roman pillars, Roman columns left over, and they integrated them into the architecture. So that's what we're going to finish with. I want to tell you all that ahead of time just because I won't have much cell service in there, and if I lose you, I lose you. But at least you'll know what we're looking at. That's pretty fantastic, isn't it? So here we go. Old pillars left over from the Roman temple that was once on this spot. Right here, this is it. Let me show you that. They think the column is from the 2nd or 3rd century. I know it's dark. I don't know if my camera's focusing properly, but you get the idea. I just wanted to show you that. It's extremely old, by the way. There's just dust coming off of it. So it's beautiful. There's a hidden bit of Roman Paris. Okay, I think I got you. I might have lost you there for a second. Thanks for staying with me, and I think we're gonna call it a day. I actually have a glass to return because I wasn't supposed to keep that right there. I was supposed to pay €5 for it, so let me grab that and return that to them. But before I do, let me say a goodbye with well, a lot of sun in my face here. We've got the sun setting. Thanks everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm a full-time tour guide. If you ever come into Paris, hit me up. I got all my links here in the description of this. This replay is going to go up immediately on my Facebook page. You can go in the video section of this same Facebook page and find all the replays going back the last 33 episodes. And hey, a guy was just trying to steal my glass. How dare he? And that's about it. You can become a Patreon supporter if you want to get extra rewards and help this project survive and thrive. I'd be very appreciative of that. There's a link for that as well, called patreon.com. And Instagram and my blog and all of that good stuff. And so I hope we can stay connected if we're not already connected. I will see you next weekend for another one. We're going to do a cafe chat. My members on Patreon, you get a private cafe chat. It's just going to be me today, but we're going to try to find a spot here that's not completely crazy, and we'll have a nice talk because I couldn't see too many comments while I was navigating the crowd here. So I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse of the Wine Festival of Montmartre 2018. Chances are I'll be here next year as well for that very good vintage that I heard about. But this one wasn't bad. The rosé, I got to tell you, very good. So if you're not here, remember you can go to the Museum of Montmartre, and quite often in their gift shop they have bottles, albeit overpriced, but you get the idea. Okay, so goodbye from Montmartre, 18th arrondissement. Goodbye from the Wine Festival, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will hopefully see you next week. And stay in touch. I'm going to be posting some fun stuff as the week goes on Facebook and Instagram. So take care, everybody. Thanks again for the support. I will see you very soon.